So in this video, I'm going to give you the top 5 reasons all of the products that you're using, all the people that you're booking, all of the stylists that you're getting cannot grow your hair. And no matter what you do at home, you just can't keep them inches. If you want to get these answers, stick around. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe here to my channel, and also go ahead and click the link in the description box and get your free PDF where I break down everything that I'm saying in this video step by step, so you don't have to stress yourself out and try to take notes and write stuff down, because I already did. And it all comes down to it. It's really simple, and to be honest, we make it all so complicated. To grow a head full of healthy long hair, the steps are very simple. You need to make sure that you are always exfoliating. Why? Because you need to make sure that you are keeping up with your body's skin cell turnover. To learn a little bit more about that, check the video linked in the description box below. Number 2, you need to always make sure that you cleanse. The exfoliation process is to help your body release the dead skin cells that is already lifting up. So you're exfoliating, removing the dead skin. After you exfoliate and remove that dead skin, the next thing you need to do is cleanse the follicle and the hair shaft. This is where the shampoo comes into play. So you need to make sure that you are using a shampoo that is based around what your hair needs. Number 3, you need to make sure that you are conditioning. A lot of people are talking about, you know, you don't need conditioning, you can just wash. No, that's not the thing. A conditioner has one purpose. The purpose of a conditioner is to put back any botanicals that your hair could have been stripped of when you were washing your hair. I know we're all crazy about sulfates. If you want a video on that, video coming really soon. But at the end of the day, you need to wash your hair just like you need to wash your butt. And sometimes if you were to wash up really good in the shower, if you don't put on lotion, you're going to be ashy. So you have to put on lotion. Conditioner is your hair's version of lotion. So you need to put some hair lotion on, okay? After you condition your hair, you need to make sure that you protect it. So just washing your hair and then walking away is not enough. You need some type of leave-in conditioner. This is regardless of whether or not you're stretching your hair, wearing it wet, whatever you're doing, you need a leave-in conditioner based on your hair's porosity to protect the hair, okay? And then lastly, you need to maintain. You've done all of these things, but you need to make sure that you are maintaining your hair. How do you do that? You want to make sure that you are cleansing the scalp. So going a month and some change without washing your hair, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing that should be a thing. So the first thing that you should do is make sure you set up a regimen where you're washing your hair. We'll get to that next. And you also need to make sure that you are trimming your ends on a regular basis. Whenever somebody says trim, this is what y'all see. That's not a trim. A trim is dusty. You just do a little dust, just a little sprinkle. I want you guys to stop being so stressed out. You're not cutting inches off. If you're doing it right, every time you trim your hair, it should look like fairy dust. So those are the steps that you need to follow. Let's get into these 5 things that are just messing with y'all stickle-diggles, okay? Question and issue number 1. How often do we wash our hair? And how much is too much? What I'm gonna do next, I'm just gonna give you guys the facts, and I'll let you come to your own conclusion. So every 28 days, the skin cells on your scalp die off and fall off on the floor. But not only that, that's not the only thing. What is the sweat gland for? The sweat glands all over your body are responsible for releasing the different toxins within the body throughout the day. You have sweat glands in your scalp. So on a daily basis, you have different toxins coming out of the scalp through your sweat glands. Also, the sebaceous gland creates sebum, and sebum also, within the sebaceous gland, there's also a form of acid that is produced. This form of acid is produced to clean excess sebum off of the scalp, but if it's not removed, it turns into yeast. I said that really fast because I already made a video about it. Link in the description box below. You know, just with all of that information on the table, it is my recommendation, just like most professional cosmetologists' recommendations or everybody in this field, for you to wash your hair at least once every 2 weeks. Me personally, I wash my hair every week, but if you are not able to do that, or if you have braids in your hair or a weave or something like that, you can cleanse your scalp with a oil. Shameless plug, if you guys want to know more details on stuff like this, download one of my mini ebooks that go really deep into detail about everything that I'm saying here on this video. Number 2, detangling the hair, wet versus dry. This is the argument that everybody wants to have, but it's crazy because whenever you go into the doctor's office, there are certain things that are scientific fact that you just don't argue about, and this is one of those things. Let's talk about it. There are 3 bonds that hold your hair together, right? So these are those 3 bonds right here. So let's say this is the salt bond, this is the disulfide bond, and this is the hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond, this is the bond that's broken by water, and this is your hair strand. So these bonds being together is what is going to determine if whether or not your hair is strong or weak. These bonds being together, okay? So whenever you wet your hair, the bonds separate. So the hydrogen bond breaks whenever you wet the hair. So if you're a person who wets their hair every day, or they're wetting their hair 50 million times a day, that means all day you're taking the bonds that hold your hair together from this to this all day. I can't even do my finger like this that much. All day you're separating the bonds in your hair all day, every time you wet it, right? A lot of the things that we think are hereditary are not hereditary. It is just simply the fact that our habits are generational. Most of the time you'll notice that most women, as they get older, their hair looks thinner, or the transparency changes even before it turns gray. Most people don't understand that the transparency in your hair can be changed simply from you breaking the bonds in your hair too much, from you using products that clog the follicle and that block the pores. Because remember, for your hair to thrive, you have 3 layers to your hair. In this video here, I explained the 3 layers of the hair shaft. Within the hair shaft, there are 3 layers. People think that hair is dead. It's not. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But the hair shaft is not dead. And within the 2nd layer of the hair shaft is the part of the hair shaft that holds your melanin. So if you're constantly breaking the hair shaft, and if you're constantly breaking the salt bond, and if you're constantly putting holes within the hair's cuticle and within the hair shaft, eventually the melanin that lives within the hair's cortex is going to begin to come out. The same way that you can extract melanin with color, with hair color. I take your hair from black to blonde by opening the cuticle with a chemical and extracting the melanin that lives within the hair's cortex. So I can also extract the melanin. You can also extract the melanin that lives within the hair's cortex by damaging the cuticle. How do you damage the cuticle? Opening and closing the bonds that hold the hair together too much and weakening them. How else do you weaken the bonds that hold the hair together? Another bond is there is the salt bond over here. So if you're a person that wets your hair every day with apple cider vinegar, that means that you're breaking the hydrogen bond. That means you're breaking the hydrogen bond, and that means you're breaking the hydrogen bond and the salt bond every single day. Because the salt bond in the hair is broken whenever a product's pH balance reaches higher than 5.5. And apple cider vinegar's natural pH balance is a lot higher than that. And guess what? Even if you change the natural pH balance in the house, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Why? Because you use it too much. Apple cider vinegar should not be used in the hair more than once a year. And if you're using it on a regular basis, you are constantly breaking the hydrogen bond and the salt bond in the hair, which eventually weakens the hair shaft. This is scientific fact. Regardless if you guys want to argue about it or not, it is fact. And because we have all of these generational habits, women styling their hair in the same way, using the same products that's passed down generation from generation, you notice women in the same bloodlines have the same types of baldness in the same places because they use the same products with the same patterns. Length means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. How do we comb through matted hair? Most people think that it's easier to comb through matted hair whenever you are just simply going to go ahead and put conditioner in. We're getting to conditioner in a minute, but I want to say something to you guys, and please don't get mad at me. Instead of playing this whole hair growth game and hair care game from defense and like, oh, what can I do to fix this? What can I do to fix this? Let's play from offense. If we play offense, you don't have all of these problems to fix. Don't get mad at me, but matted hair is not a normal thing. Matted hair is not something that's supposed to happen all the time. And if you are only using oils that match your hair's porosity and you have a regular routine and you're not letting weeks and weeks and weeks go by before you comb your hair, and you're not letting months go by before you comb your hair, then you don't need to worry about different oils that will help you get your hair unmatted. Having matted hair is not normal, guys. You're not supposed to allow your hair to mat. Yes, our hair is curly. Yes, our hair is very hard to manage, but the hair with oil, but it's better for me when I use conditioner. Conditioner is just better for me to use it. Listen to me right now, real quick. Let's talk about what conditioner actually is and how conditioner is made. This is conditioner and how conditioner is made. Let's get to this really quick. You can clearly see here water. Now she's adding emulsifying wax. Emulsifying wax's purpose is to bind water and oil together. So that's what she's doing. Now, as she uses this blender, is going to make this emulsifying wax a little thicker. Now she's adding a little bit of shea butter. Now here come all of the additives. These are the things that make conditioner amazing. The oils and the additives that she's adding in. Keep in mind, all that was a preservative and a couple of plant extracts, and you can get those same botanicals in oils, organic oils. You guys, to say that conditioner is better than oil is an oxymoron, because conditioner is nothing but emulsifying wax melted down to hold oil. Emulsifying wax, there's nothing wrong with it, but the purpose of emulsifying wax within hair conditioner is to combine water and oil together. It is to lock water and oil together. The purpose of emulsifying wax is to bind. So why are you washing your hair and why are you detangling your hair? You're detangling your hair to separate, but you're going to use a binder. So you're going to separate your hair with a binder. That makes no sense. That is why your hair is breaking, because you're breaking the bond that holds your hair together, making your hair weaker. Because remember, we already talked about the hydrogen bond being the bond that's holding the hair together. So you wet your hair to break the bond, and then you use a binder to detangle your hair. So you break the bond and use a binder to release all of the tangles. That makes no sense. But if you were to do what I said, or just what you're supposed to do and use an oil instead of a conditioner, you do the exact opposite. Because hemp seed oil, for an example, hemp seed oil is a 0 on the comedogenic scale, which means it will not block the pores or the hair. It will not block the pores on your skin, your hair follicles, or your cuticle. And it also creates a protective barrier on the hair shaft, which gives the hair shaft amazing slip. Did you know that one of the main additives in most conditioners is one of the same forms of silk amino acids that lives inside of oils? For them to, that slip that you guys love so much is extracted from plants. So to say that detangling the hair with conditioner is better than detangling with oil makes no sense, because an oil that does not clog the pores or the follicle, that has amazing slip, you can use the oil that gives the conditioner its slip in the first place itself without breaking the bonds in your hair and making your hair weaker. Okay, some people detangle their hair, and if you guys still want to detangle your hair wet, then that's fine, but a fact is a fact. And you liking you having a preference of one thing over another does not make that thing better than the next thing. It does not. Detangling your hair wet is not better than detangling your hair dry. It is not. Detangling your hair with conditioner is not better than detangling your hair with oil, because detangling your hair with conditioner is detangling your hair with oil. Okay. How do we keep the scalp moisturized without blocking the follicles? Because I told you guys, don't use I told you guys, okay, don't use Jamaican black castor oil all the time if it's not 100% Jamaican black castor oil, or if it's not 100% castor oil. Unless it's 100% and it is the type of castor oil, you know exactly where it came from, do not put it in your hair. And castor oil is very great. It has amazing properties if it is organic. If it is not organic and you are putting it on the scalp every day, like I told you in the past, like most of the brands that you guys are using, just because it says natural or natural does not mean that it's organic. If it's the cheapest one, it is for a reason. Look at the ingredients. And castor oil is not one of those oils that if it's not in the right form that you can put on your hair every single day, is one that you would have to wash off. But there are so many awesome oils, and the key to maintaining a healthy scalp, you guys, is just finding an oil that works best for your porosity with a low rating on the comedogenic scale. As long as the oil is between a 0 and a 2, we're good. If it's between a 0 and a 3, it's the type of oil that you are probably going to want to wash your hair for sure every week. If you are using an oil like castor oil, you need to wash your hair every single week. And I only want you using it like with a Q-tip, okay? Especially if you don't know what you're doing and you are just at the very, very beginning. But my loves, there are so many different oils on this planet. You do not have to just stick with coconut oil and castor oil and avocado oil. Y'all, there is so many damn oils in the world, Craig. Not just the city, the world. Okay? Shit. Your hair is not dead. Anytime you say cut the dead hair off, people are like, oh my god, what are you talking about? All hair is dead. I don't know who told you guys that came from. When somebody says that your hair is dead, what they mean is whenever your hair is in the hair's follicle, when the hair shoots up out of the skin, nerves within the hair shaft die. Why? If those nerves stayed alive, it would be excruciating to get a haircut. So those nerves die off right away to ensure that you get a painless haircut. But the inner workings of your hair are very, very alive. It actually makes no sense. Why would you have a cuticle with the different levels of porosity that allowed different moisture or botanicals or different toxins to leave or to come in if the hair shaft inside were dead and just nothing in there? What exactly do you need a cuticle for to protect the inner workings of the hair shaft if everything that lives within the hair shaft is dead? It makes absolutely no sense. Your hair shaft is very alive, and if you do not learn your porosity, and if you do not learn the difference between detangling your hair wet and dry, and if we don't stop having all of these arguments about the science of hair, then we will never reach our fullest potential. If we just follow the science and start paying attention to the bonds that hold our hair together, learn our levels of porosity, not 4B and 4C and all of that, we will thrive. So, you know, if this video was informative to you, let me know which part you like the best in the comments below. And then another thing, if you know, got anything out of this, why don't you just go ahead and download the free PDF? If I was talking too fast and you want some more of what I had to say, or if you just want it explained in writing, click the link left in the description box below and download your free PDF. And yeah, until my next video, I love you, and stay out your feelings, because I just can't.